Tuesday. So I took a few days off, and I thought about taking all week off. And then I thought, no. And it's not that it's that hard to do. It's not that hard to point and shoot. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes people get tired of me. Anyway, I did go to Hillsville Saturday, and I did film, but I mean, it's awful, y'all. I mean, it's absolutely terrible. I don't think I was made to vlog. I really don't. I think that I was just made to point and shoot and edit just a tiny bit and be done with it. Talk about a little bit of makeup and skincare. Talk about Tim or others. I don't know why I can't get it together when it comes to vlogging. I just can't. And I know that sounds terrible, because we are supposed to tell ourselves that we can do it. We can do it. We can all, we got to be so positive. But I don't know what I'm doing. All right, we'll move on from that. So as I said, I watched the Social Security video, and as I said, I was totally confused. But then again, it don't take much to confuse me. But I don't know why anybody would take his advice for Social Security. Now, if you want to take his advice for buying a scooter, an e-bike, hey, he's probably an expert. But as far as Social Security, please don't take his advice. And I watched this morning the one where he's riding around saying I'm on circle and all that on the scooter. And he's talking about the street, the gates and stuff. I mean, I'm sure they had a parade. I know I read somewhere where they'd had a arts festival sometime. It may even been recently. And that's where those gates could have been from. I don't know what they're building up there. They got a bunch of cinder blocks. So anyway, it's funny how this light comes on when it's raining. It doesn't come on there unless it's raining. It's strange. Strange. All right, what else did I do this weekend? That's about it. Went to Lowe's, got a light bulb, 2 light bulbs. Dave put those in for me. It's not that I can't put in, now that sounded really, I can put a light bulb in. It's just, this one is tricky. It's over the sink. I'm not that tall. I'm afraid I'd fall. And even if I could do it, but I would rather somebody be there in case I did fall. I can't put a light bulb in. I did put the ones in that's over the dining room table that burn out. I did do those. And he was there and watched me. So, it's not like I can't do it. I can do some things, but I'm just not when I'm mechanically, I can take a computer and put it back together. I can take a copier and put it back together. Stuff like that, I can do. I can't do cars. Even though I've been taught a lot about cars. It's just, I don't know why I can't do it. I think it's got something to do with my fingers, because they're short and fat, and they've always been that way. Somebody's got my parking place today that I usually park at, because, there's some right there that's closer to the inn. So I was trying to fight a headache all weekend because of the weather. Saturday and Sunday was absolutely gorgeous. Highs in the 60s, low 70s. Very little humidity. There was some girl walking around up there at Hillsville, and I heard her tell somebody, "Oh, the humidity's so high." And I'm like, she must come from Phoenix, Arizona, somewhere like that, because I looked at my watch and the humidity, and I knew the humidity was low for us, was 38%. And I'm like, honey, that's low. We're almost in, usually when it gets below 30 is when they start saying no burn. So, anyway, I just think she was having a hot flash, maybe. I did meet some nice ladies at Hillsful. That one made soap. She has her own goats. And I got her card, and I invited her to the Apple Festival here. Yeah, I got to pull back up. And I don't know why I've got all of a sudden click in my tongue. I got to stop it. Then I talked to a lady who sells, she has a bridal shop. Very nice bridal shop. I looked at it online. And she also sells high-end skincare, and she didn't have much makeup. It was mostly skincare and hair care, but it's returns and stuff from QVC, HSN, some of those, and I did buy some Moroccan oil shine spray, or I think it's called glimmer spray, and I think that is $32 if you buy it at the salon, and I paid $5 for it. And there's going to be no expiration date you got to worry about there. It's mostly just the Moroccan oil with argan oil, whatever you want to call it. I mean, this is the main brand, the original brand that brought it, that made it famous, that made argan oil famous as far as for your hair. Now, I know that Josie Moran made it famous for your skin, but for hair, Moroccan oil is the one that brought it. So today's makeup is Doll 10, I used the CL concealer. My eyeshadow is Laura Geller, and I'll try to insert the palette that I used. It's one from Amazon that I used to travel with, and I guess I could say I set it with the YSL bronzing powder. That's what I've been setting it with now, because it gives me some color, and it's light enough. It gives, it's not too dark to set your face with. Then I use the blush from that Laura Geller palette, Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow pencil, mascara is Too Faced Foreplay primer, and Estee Lauder Extreme mascara. Bottom lashes is the Maybelline in the burgundy shade. Lipstick is, it's an Old City Beauty liquid lipstick that they discontinued, and I don't know why they did. It's similar to Maybelline Lover. I mean, I would say that's the one that's closest to it. And then I applied the Buxom lip gloss oil and white Russian on top. So that's what I have on. Eyeliner, I did use a black eyeliner at top. Is KVD. I didn't know I had any more, and I found it, and it was not dried up, so I thought, well, I should use it. And, as long as I don't take the black underneath, I think it's okay. But if you start taking that black underneath your eyes, you're going to regret it, I feel, at my age. Okay, with that, let's talk about Kris Jenner, Kardashian, whatever you want to call her, and her plastic surgery. I'll try to remember to insert a picture here. And she's had this dermaplane, whatever, something facelift. And I would rather, I've seen all these people talk about how great she looks and all that. And she does look great. I mean, but I would hope after you've had a facelift and probably paid $100,000 for it or whatever, that you do look good. I mean, I would hate to think that you didn't. Yes, it looks better than anything that Madonna or any of those others have done. This one doesn't look as fake, but I'm going to put a but in there. She's 70 years old, or right at it. There was nothing wrong with the way she looked before, in my opinion. And I think that mentally, we're in this. Not everyone can afford that. I would say most people cannot afford a $100,000 facelift. A lot of people wouldn't want to go under. I'm sure the recovery was horrendous. But I will say, when you really start looking at it, she looks like one of them filters that you can get on some apps to look younger. It's called young, youthful, something like that. And when you look at it, that's exactly what it looks like. So when I'm looking at, of course, I know there's a video out there, but you can put that thing on a video. The right editor's going to know how to edit it where you never know it was a filter unless you just really examine it. So like I say, I'd like to see it in person. You can tell that, okay, you can tell she's got cheek filler here. So not only did they lift the face, the neck, but then they added filler. And my question would be, what's going to happen? Am I going to have to get that filler dissolved? Because we're already seeing people that's having a lot of filler. Some of it's not dissolving like it should, and they get little bumps. So is she going to have to go in and have that filler dissolved and then filler put back in eventually? And I mean, it's constant maintenance. So that's why I say this type facelift or this type work done is only for the rich. And it makes people like me, or I don't really feel inadequate. I have no problem with her having it done. But I just see so many people in the comments saying, oh, I wish I could do this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, you don't have to do this to be beautiful. You don't have to do this. What's wrong with looking your age or even just 5 years younger? I've always said, I want to look the best I can at 65, 67, whatever that is. You know, I could have things happen to me, but, you know, I still would want to look the best I could at that age. I'm not against having filler. The only reason I have not ever had it done is because I'm more afraid of the not dissolving, the getting the lumps. So that's why I've always said I would never get filler. Now, in my lips, you can bet I would get it there. And I still debate on it all the time. But as far as Botox, I probably need it up in here if I really start examining. But why should I do that? As I said before, who am I trying to impress? I'm not an actress. I guess I can be if I'm on here. But I mean, I want people to know how old I am. And I want them to know I only use skincare to get this way. And when I want people to know that good skincare can make a difference. You don't have to go to those links unless that's just something that you really want to do. And I don't want people, I guess my thing is that I don't want people to do it just because they feel like they have to do it in order to stay, let's say, competitive, if they're in the corporate world, or if they're in, well, like I say, where looks is involved. You know, it bothers me when I see some of these reality stars at 25, 26 going to get Botox. I know supposedly it's a preventative, but we really don't know if it is or not. To me, you know, I think that Paris Hilton, and I know she probably gets Botox and everything, she doesn't age. Even though you can tell she has aged, but she doesn't go overboard with hers. And maybe that's because she has done the upkeep. She can, but not everyone can do that. Anyway, I got to shut up. I've said that long enough. I know sometimes people get offended if I talk about other women or whatever, and it's by no means, it's just that, it's just a conversation. Like I say, I have nothing against, I mean, I'm not a fan of Kris Jenner's. You know, I think she may be involved in the Diddy thing, but do I know that? No, it's just a hunch, I guess. And some people have said that her name's on stuff. So my thing is that as far as just looking at her in person, I didn't see anything wrong with the way she looked before. But I guess she did. And that's what matters. It's what you see. Not what I see. Not what your husband sees, your boyfriend, whoever. It's what you see when you look in the mirror. And I'm content with what I've got, except for this. All right, gotta go. Love you, bye.